So hi everybody, I didn't disappear. I've been just so crazy busy. So Joe's been flying solo lately, but I know he did the video. This is like I don't know what you call the thing after a video. You're gonna help me out there, Joe. Not a prelude. Prelude is before, right?
I'm putting you before the video.
Oh, so I guess this is the beginning. Okay, so anyway, I had to stop to pick up something from a gentleman that I do some work for, and anyway, I said to Joe, why don't you take some picture of the New York skyline? And I know he did it a little bit different than, maybe we'll take a walk there one time. And but it was absolutely beautiful sight to see. But I will tell you the traffic was horrendous. I think it took us 40 minutes to go 8 miles, and I think maybe 50 minutes to come back the 8 miles because so much traffic there. But I hope you enjoy, and within the next few weeks, I hope to be back on more videos. I'm not sure.
We forget to tell them that we always used to joke, but it's no joke that people make their own rules driving.
Oh my God!
I'm getting beeped at.
So we're at a red light, and the guy is behind us is beeping because he wants Joe to turn left at the red left. You know how you're allowed to turn right, full stop, then you can turn, look both ways and turn right. Well, we were on a one-way, and the guy wanted Joe to turn left. And it was a crossing guard because it was a school there. And that's
crossing guard was in front of me,
yes,
staring, waiting for me to do it.
And the other thing is, he talked about 1 square mile? And there's actually 6 elementary schools, one main daycare and a lot of little daycares, plus a high school and a middle school in that 1 mile area. So it is absolutely, it was kind of close to lunchtime, so the kids were out. And but that's not what caused the traffic. But anyway, hope you enjoy the video. I did say to Joe while I was there, I said, Joe, why don't you just go take some, pictures of the New York skyline and share it with you guys. And if you like it, let us know, and maybe we'll be able to do some more. Okay? Hope you guys enjoy, and nice seeing you again. Miss you.
Hey everyone, how are you? Welcome back to another episode of Life with Marianne and Joe. And in today's episode, I am here in the town where I grew up and where we worked in the school system here for so many years. And Marianne had some business to do. She had to pick up some business things from a person here in town. I thought, and actually she suggested that I do a little video right here. This town is called West New York, New Jersey. I know that sounds weird, but it is right here on the Hudson. And it is a very densely packed town. In fact, it is most densely packed per square inch than anywhere else in the United States. The whole town is only 1 square mile, and we're talking about a lot of people that live here, probably 60, 70 plus thousand people in 1 square mile. You can see that the houses are very, very close together, and actually this is the crown jewel of the town right here. I am on a street called Boulevard East. It's Kennedy Boulevard East because there's a Kennedy Boulevard West at the other end of town, but everybody just calls it Boulevard East. And it is right here on the waterfront. And interesting, when my grandparents first arrived here from Italy, my grandfather bought a house here on my maternal side because it was close to the city. He used to walk down to the ferry and take the ferry into Manhattan, and he worked at Bergdorf Goodman. And my father's family, they originally went to Hell's Kitchen in New York, and then they moved here to West New York. And my grandfather worked down on the train tracks, which are no longer here, unloading the trains. He became the foreman down there. So I'm going to show you why this street is so popular, especially right now. It's empty, thank God. But I'll show you in a second. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you. Okay, so here in West New York, there are a lot of these 2-family kind of houses, and most likely they were built in the early 1900s right here. These people right here are lucky because they have a really great view of the city, which is right across the street from here. Most of the town doesn't have that view, and it's a little bit different than this, but it's basically these kind of houses. And then of course there are a lot of apartment buildings, because when people were first moving here in the early 1900s, they needed space for these people to live. Now unfortunately what happened was this town had a mayor that was in the mafia, and he actually went to jail, but he had been in power here for a long time, and obviously he granted a lot of building permits that shouldn't have been. So you have houses that are really on top of one another just to gain as much space. Then you see, all of a sudden you'll see like a high rise like that, or all these high rises right here, and obviously they are really expensive because they get a view of the city. Okay, so there you go. For those of you who have never been to Manhattan, there is the awesome Manhattan skyline right there. It is absolutely unbelievable, and at nighttime it is just, the lights and so on are unbelievable. And I'll take you through a little bit. If you can see all the way down there, that's actually that's One World Trade Center. That's where the other World Trade Center buildings used to be. So the school where I taught in was only 2 blocks from here. So we saw the horrific events unfold in the day, and actually I ran down here. I had a break and I ran out of school and I ran down here and actually witnessed one of the buildings falling. But we don't want to talk about that right now. We'll never forget, but we don't want to talk about that right now. So you can see One World Trade down there, and that's Lower Manhattan down there. And then you see where the center part looks like the buildings actually get really small, and that they do. That's like the Chelsea area and the Village area and so on. I don't think the bedrock there can support these tremendous buildings, and that's why you don't see them right there. This complex right here, this is called Hudson Yards. That is a new complex. All those buildings were just built. They are both business and residential as well, and retail and so on. That's a new complex that is in the process of still being built. And then right there you can see is the Empire State Building, the one with the needle on the top right there, which used to be the tallest building. That building tops out at 102 stories, right below that needle right there. Then right down here, that one you can see is the new Grand Central Building, which is as tall as the Empire State. Now as we move here, you can see that odd looking building right there with the point, but right behind it, that tower right there is the tallest residential building in the Western Hemisphere, and that is Billionaires Row right there. There are all very tall, slender buildings that are now being built because the architects figured out how to build these really tall, skinny buildings so that they can maximize their square footage. They don't have that much blueprint on the ground, or footprint I should say, but they can go high, so they are now experimenting with really high buildings. That building is tremendously tall right there. And like I said, that's Billionaires Row. You're talking about apartments there that go for millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Okay, and then as we move up the skyline, you see it starts to go back down again, and we're moving into, the upper west side. This would be, it's got a little bit blurry, sorry. Yeah, that would be the upper west side right there. So down along the waterfront down there, which used to be all train tracks and whatnot, they realized that this was prime real estate. So you can see down there, they built a lot of condos down there, and that is a lot of people that live down there, work on Broadway and work in the city. They have the ferries that, go right over to the city. You can see there's a ferry right there that's on its way over to the city. All right, I'm taking a little closer view. You can almost see up the blocks. Take a look at that building. Is that unbelievable or what? Here's a closer view of Hudson Yards. I hope this is coming out because it's hard for me to see. The sun is in my eyes, so I can actually see what is on my camera. I hope it's okay. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this little glimpse of New York. For those of you that have never been here before and have never seen it, the Skyline is awesome. It's different than anywhere else in the country. I really can honestly tell you that. We've been a lot of places and this is really different.